In today's video, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of my home golf garage setup that I've got here. It's a humble setup, but it is very effective for me to practice my game on those cold days or the times that I just cannot get out to the range. So if you're interested in setting up something similar at your home, your garage, or a small space that you've got, then this video might be able to help you out with some tips and tricks on how to maximize a home golf setup. If you've never been to my channel before, I practice solely on the Spornia SPG-7 Golf Net. This golf net is something I purchased almost 6 months ago now, and to be honest, it's been one of the best investments I've made for my golf game. I go more into depth with this net in a previous video that I've uploaded, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave the links to that in the description below. But essentially, this is predominantly a lot of what my setup is surrounded by. I've also got my golf mat right there, and if you are also new to my channel, you wouldn't be familiar with this flooring that I've got. It's essentially just a rubber matting. Now, this stuff is kind of falling apart a little bit because it was used in a previous life, but this is where my hitting area and my hitting zone is. I find that this works really well for me. Something that I've also been asked about is the height of my ceilings. It is important to note, if you are setting something like this up in a garage, you will need some height or clearance depending on the height that you are. What I noticed was, if I had someone that is taller than me, so I stand at roughly 5'9", and so someone that comes in at over 6'2" or 6'3", you probably start to get pretty close to the roof in terms of clearance. Now, I have roughly a 2.8 meter clearance from the ground up to the roof here, and that allows me to swing anything up to a driver in here, which is awesome. I don't have to worry about hitting the ceiling. Now, if you are someone like me and you have a double garage, let me just focus that in. If you do have a double garage, you're probably going to have one of these things in the center controlling your garage door. So depending on what dexterity you are, whether you are a left-hander or a right-hander, what I found pretty effective was you're going to have to consider things like what side your wall is on to your net and what side you're actually setting up to hit the golf ball. So if you're a left-hander, your club is not going to hit that wall, whereas if you're a right-hander, you would probably want to set it up, and excuse the mess on that side of my garage, you'd want to set it up on that side so that if you do in your backswing, you're not going to hit that wall that's going to be behind you. So as a lefty, I'm kind of swinging backwards, or in my backswing, I've got no problems with hitting that wall. Then I've also got to consider that little centerpiece of my garage. So they're little things to consider if you're trying to set this up in your garage specifically. But I gotta say, it's super effective for what I needed to do. Now, if I lift my garage door up, you can actually see that with the SPG-7, I don't have any problems with clearance up the top there. So if you're someone that has a similar roof size and also a roller door like this, then you should be fine as long as you kind of measure it out. But this net fits perfectly under it, and if you have to, you can sort of adjust some of this. But the SPG-7 is probably the perfect size for this double garage that I've got here. This is the back of the net and what it looks like. You can see that, you know, a lot of the nylon or the rope that kind of holds this together. Plus you got the drop sheet for the impact sheet back here. And if you need to, you can also store stuff under here. Probably just flat pack stuff if you need to, which is cool. And there's a ball that's got stuck. Can happen from time to time. I'll give you a view of it from sort of here. I don't have much clearance between the wall and the actual net itself, and it is quite close to the actual edge of my garage roller door, but it doesn't get in the way of it, which is nice. So this is kind of what it looks like. I did have someone ask me what these panels are on my garage, and they're insulation panels that I installed for two reasons. One, really good for noise denting or densing of your garage. So noise is definitely something to kind of take note of when you're setting this up in your garage, because it can be quite noisy hitting golf balls, especially with your driver and your longer irons. So pay close attention to how much noise is reverberating out of your golf net. Pay close attention to how much noise is actually coming out and leaving your garage. With a normal sort of metal garage door, you're going to get a lot of noise that kind of bounces off it and then echoes, and it can be quite loud. So the cool thing is that with these panels, it's really helped me. You'll be able to pick them up from a local hardware store. But apart from that, I don't have any other sound improvement type things in here. I do have something that I purchased the other day, which I'm considering using. If you want to set this up, I would recommend having a little bit more clearance between the wall and this net. Now, I could have done a better job with actually securing the net, but I have basically just used a nail and kind of fastened that side net or that shank net onto the wall. Now it does the job for me. I don't have too many problems with it. It does catch a ball pretty effectively. So let me just demonstrate for you. I've got a ball here. You can see there, it does a pretty good job. And some balls can leak through, like that one. It can actually leak through. So you see that? It's probably going to leak through in between that little gap. So take note of that. I wouldn't suggest setting this up kind of with something behind it. So if you've got a car or something like that, but definitely do not recommend setting up a net like this, especially this net, unless you're able to kind of add additional netting to catch the ball if you do hit a shank, which can happen. But to be honest with you, I don't really always find that being too much of an issue. Really, it's really not an issue for me. The thing you may be wondering is, can you park a car in here? If you are someone that owns a double garage like I do, can you park a car next to this? And the short answer is yes. You can definitely park a car here, something of a smaller car variety. If you don't have messy shelving like I do here, then you'll be able to fit something bigger in here for sure, and then maybe have shelving set up on the rear wall. But you can quite easily park a normal sized car in here. And do I suggest you doing that while you're hitting golf balls? Maybe not. But to be honest with you, this net does a great job of catching stray balls as well as all your shots. You're not going to have too many problems with that. But in terms of setting up this and then having space to park your car, you can absolutely do that. So if you are considering this inside your garage, then this is kind of what it would look like once you set it up. It is really cool. It gives me a space to practice my game, and I'm very grateful for that. Again, this is quite a humble golf setup. However, I do appreciate the fact that I am blessed to be able to do this in my garage, and I understand not everyone will be able to do it. So I hope you guys don't take it in the wrong way. I'm not trying to show you to boast. I really just want to show you, if you do want to set this up, that you can do it, and it doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be effective, and that's what I've gone for here. Now, I want to upgrade this area, and I would love to give this a nice coat of paint and give it, that really modern feel in here. Although the white doesn't look too bad, I do want to give this garage a nice clean up and get rid of some of the mess that's over there, which I don't want to continue showing this. And I'd love to put some downlights in here. Obviously, I like creating content in here. And as I kind of go through and do drills and tips and tricks that are hopefully helpful to you guys and to the people that subscribe to the channel, I want to be able to make sure that the content looks good on camera. So there's some upgrades that are personal preference, I guess. They're not really something that I would advise you doing. Something I would love to do is put a TV or a screen up on that wall right there. I don't know why the focus is all funny, but if I want to eventually get some kind of simulator, the cool thing about this Spornia net is, I've mentioned it on previous videos, but you can actually get a screen that comes over here and get some kind of projector set up on the roof and actually hit balls. You might have to pay attention to where your club is. The other thing I found really effective is this flooring You can pick this flooring up at any kind of hardware store, any gym equipment store. Again, I've got two different types. I would love to get a consistent flooring in here, but this works really effective for me so that I'm not sort of just standing on a cement floor. Also, it adds to what the area looks like, or it adds to the actual look of the area. And you know, I think when I walk in here, it's genuinely somewhere that I enjoy spending time and hitting some golf balls. So it's definitely one of my favorite places in my house. Guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that really quick tour, the really quick video about what my garage setup looks like. If you're interested in following my journey with kind of revamping this interior and hopefully giving it a nice studio feel, then subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content like this. Leave any questions for me in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget, golf is hard.